what the original vision and mission for this bike was, is that, we wanted it to be so easy, effortless commute that you can just get on, go, ride, and just not think about it. He's 6,000 to 7,000 miles you can ride this thing, and then you got to do a little oil change with your pinion gearbox. It's like, how cool is that? And so and just the collaboration, we're gonna get into more of this later, but just the collaboration of the maintenance-free aspect of that and Gates, come on, it's so cool.
Well, actually, speaking of maintenance, speaking of service, we actually have Zach from VPL North America here, basically kind of the Pinion North America arm. So I think we should bring him out and talk to him more about this.
Yeah, totally. We have Zach from VPL here with us now. Well, actually, Zach, I think it would be good to give the viewers some context of who you are and how you relate to Pinion and their service side and everything like that.
Yeah, so VPL is the North American distributor for Pinion, and we're also the service provider. So we help people like yourselves with the technical information on how to specify a Pinion system on a bicycle. And then we also are in the background to assist end consumers with any type of service or warranty that they may have.
Kind of the North America expert in respect to Pinion in terms of collaborating with people like us, but also the service side, And so like the consumer still gets to work with the Lectric customer service that we're known for, right? But they can know in the back end that there's a partnership between Lectric and VPL to ensure that we can take care of these customers and everything.
Yeah, it's interesting. You set up a service center with the intent to be able to provide that service for that end consumer, and you know that your potential failure rate is going to be substantially less than 1%.
Yeah.
But you want to have that backbone set up so that something that happens that you didn't quite think could have happened can be taken care of.
Sure.
And that's what we're focused on. And sometimes it's just that the product is very well used. It's got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 miles on it, and then it's more of a service thing or a refurbishment thing, similar to how people are already used to being trained. You change the oil in your car, you would do the same thing with the Pinion system. And so then there's other things that are like a crash. It's a crash on the bike, it's when you are transporting the bike somewhere else and there's a crash. Then it's a structural thing that we can take care of. We can do a full refurbishment, take everything inside and rebuild it.
Yeah. So I know that we have a Lectric service network. We've partnered with a ton of shops all over the country. We have a bike shop here. We have our customer service team here. So can you talk a little bit about kind of the relationship between Lectric and VPL in terms of technical information on kind of that first step before we're sending Pinion gearboxes to VPL or however that happens? What are kind of some of the training materials and stuff that happen there?
I think that whole process started with, hey, we've got this concept for a bike. Let's start with the 3D CAD. Let's look at the implementation of this gearbox with a propulsion system that we have today. Yep. How would this look? Looking at all of the integration of things that were already developed at Pinion and then saying, actually, we would like to do something a little bit different there. And we would like to do something different here, and let's optimize this. And so that I think you and Mark massaged out, and then it very quickly became something that was Pinion Germany as well, and then it started to morph into your assembler.
100%. I mean, it's crazy the amount of resources that Pinion VPL offer in terms of troubleshooting of like, hey, let's say this scenario pops up, this is how you solve that issue. It was like quite the depth of knowledge to digest. And then it was like, okay, we took it one step further with Pinion, we took it one step further with VPL in how that smart shift box actually gives a cadence signal to our bike. And that's how it actually activates the motor. So there was this whole other layer of, okay, what are we gonna do for troubleshooting and how are we going to tackle that for our customer service, our bike shops, our bike shop service network? And really it's that working together with the right partners to say, okay, we're gonna, do the training that we need to help our customers as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's magic what you guys have done, really, and it's exciting because you're taking this unbelievable premier product and you're bringing it at a price point that I don't think anyone would have believed was possible.
Yeah, but I did ask you of like, hey, based on this spec that I've put on this bike and everything, you know, what is your recommendation? Do you want to share what your advice to me that I didn't listen to was?
What did I say? 3,000, $29.99? Was that the number? What did I say?
think that-
$49.99?
Yeah, I think
I forget.
we started at 6,000, and then I tried to work you down to 5,000.
Yeah.
And then once I got you down to 5,000, I wanted to go down even a little further. And then we were at that $3,000 price point where, you know, you were like, you're still insane, and we were pretty comfortable. And then I said, I'm not doing that. I'm doing 2,000. And so it was a fun little game that we played together with each other. But yeah.
Still looking at the price point at 6,000 today for the performance that you
We're
get.
not doing 6,000, Zach.
It's like, how is that possible? And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
You know, this is a technology that the enthusiasts really appreciate and crave and want, right? The cycling community in particular has high praise for the Pinion system. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the average consumer's reaction to this product.
Yeah, that's a
have you
really
ever
good
seen
point.
that?
I mean, my perception of Pinion from when they first came out was always like endurance. This is the world traveler bike. This is a touring bike. This is, you know, a mountain bike, and it's this premier thing. And it's going to be interesting to see what the perception of that is, that trickle down to the average consumer is. And is it that the endurance carries over? Is it the ability to service it? Is it just that it's good for 200,000 miles? I'm not sure, but I don't know if your perception was similar to that from day one, but I am very interested to see how this changes from the garden variety consumer.
Yeah.
You know, not the cyclist.
There has kind of been this lack of excitement in the market, you know, for a while now, right? Where people want to see innovation, people want to see crazy splashes happening, right? And I think that's what we're trying to do with this type of product, right, is really take the innovation to the next level and bring this technology that people don't even know exists to a price point that people can actually afford and get on, right?
Yeah,
and I think that
mainstream.
Exactly. Fully bring it to the mainstream, right? And really take something that is really well built, well engineered, and kind of a niche thing, and bring it to people and just, you know, allow them to make the judgment for themselves how awesome it is.
Yeah. Zach, you have been in this industry far longer than probably I've ever even been alive. And I would love to get your perspective on the marriage of the whole bike. What's your opinion of the ride?
Yeah, well, so I rode it for the first time, a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And I had seen various images over the past 4 or 5 months of it starting to evolve, and this is the first production version that I saw. And so, you know, seeing it, I'm like, wow, that's super sharp. Seeing everything come together there, it just is so well put together. But then getting on the bike, it's tight.
Yeah.
It's a rocket ship. It has a lot more possibilities, even outside of commuting. To me, I mean, it's a little rocket ship. It's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for, and that's kind of one of the reasons we when we were doing this product, we wanted it to still have a really fun throttle, and that's sometimes a challenge when going with other types of solutions for a commuter bike, especially if it's being paired with a belt drive and whatever.
I mean, I think that this is really Lectric's engineering, you know, pièce de résistance, I believe they say, or something like that, right? And I mean, I think that this is, you know, for Lectric, right, I think there's sometimes a perception out there from customers who aren't real familiar with our company, you know, that we aren't doing a lot on the development side, right? Sure. And at the end of the day, we've had a large product development team for some time now and been doing a ton of development ourselves here. And you know, I think this product is really getting to the heart of that and showing this is the absolute best product that we can do, right? Like this is the entire frame, front to back, including the fork, was engineered by the Lectric engineering team, right? The amount of time, this is probably the longest development lead time we've ever had for a product, right? You know, every single spec decision that Matt made or every component that was engineered, I mean, it was 100% getting at how do we make the best commuting tool of all time. And so, you know, the power to weight ratio on this bike is the highest power to weight ratio of any e-bike ever made that fits in the 3-class legal definition of an e-bike.
Yeah.
And you know, the 20-inch wheels with the 750-watt motor,
yeah.
I mean, that's how we get to that acceleration, right? And some people might look at this bike and go, well, why'd you go with the small wheels? Why didn't you go with something that's more familiar to people, to everyday consumers, you know, that see commuting bikes? And part of the reason is you don't need that larger wheel size, and it really doesn't get you anything. What do these 20-inch wheels get you? They get you that crazy acceleration off the line, and you end up saving a ton of weight on this thing. And so this bike, highest power weight to ratio of any e-bike ever made, and it's usable, right? Like this thing is under 60 pounds, still able to be carried, you know, upstairs or what have you, right? The stem and the handlebars fold down, so throwing this thing in the trunk of your car, in the back of your car, right? I mean, we were talking about these other products with the pinion system being north of $10,000. They're also up near 100 pounds in weight, right? And that's just not practical for a lot of people, right? So this, you know, we really just, every single decision was so intentional. How can we make this thing as utilitarian as possible, address as many use cases as possible, and just make it fun?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, this is probably now, I think, my personal favorite electric e-bike, you know? It's just, it's awesome.
I mean, it's simple to say that it works.
Yeah,
like
sure.
for the customer to walk up to the bike, had a long day, or maybe they got groceries, they're getting on the bike, it just works in that form that we have consistently. And I think that's the other thing, is like it works consistently. You don't have to do any sort of fine tuning or fiddling or breaking out a small, you know, multi-tool and be like, I gotta adjust something. You don't have any of that.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes to the customer, where they don't have to think about it. We already thought about it for them.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I think this was really great, and now it's the fun part. Now we get to actually start selling these things and shipping them all over. So hopefully there's no maintenance needs or service problems that we're gonna have to reach out to you for. But appreciate you being a part of this whole journey.
Mark is just standing by.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, yeah. You're just sitting there. He just wants to work on one of the bikes too. I'm sure of it.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome,
We're
man.
really excited.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you guys.